Hello, this is Patrick, one of the wild guys. This is my YouTube intro and some of the wild guys that are with me. We will be canoeing and rafting in rivers and lakes and even a little bit out in the Pacific Ocean in the Northwest Territories of Yukon and British Columbia. This canoe trip is going to be in the interior of British Columbia in the Bulkley Valley, the Nikita Kidprice. It's going to be a good trip. I hope you can come along with us. Enjoy this one. We'll be heading out into the backcountry on the Lamprey Forest River Road. We're going out to central British Columbia, just south of Houston, and we're going to be covering and canoeing the Nanika Kidprice Provincial Park, so we can see all the beauty out there. From the left to the right, Bill Downey, John Waters, Mark Baylor, and Patrick Roy. We're the wild guys heading off to Nanika Kidprice Provincial Park. We have a few more from Victoria. They'll be coming along and meeting us out there. We're loaded and off to Kidprice Lake for our canoe trip. It is of little value to find out after you've traveled hundreds of miles or even thousands that you have forgot something back at home. So make sure you do the planning, review all your records, and you have all your gear that's needed for a fun and enjoyable trip. You've probably heard me say this before, but Bill was the one that got the group together. Bill is the one on the right in the back of the truck and got everything started, and we've certainly had many wonderful trips because of it. 4 of us are now leaving Kelowna and on our way to Nanika Kidprice, and it didn't take us long after we left Kelowna, and we will start to see some of the beautiful scenes that we have all throughout North America, in particular northern Canada. On our way to Houston, we stopped to have something to eat along the way. We heard a lot about the fishing that we should be enjoying on this trip, and we got to Houston and we seen this fishing pole. We were pretty excited. It must be some awful big fish out there by the side of this rod. We will give you a little more directions and a map to assist you so that you can find this road that we're going on. That would be the Lamprey Forest Service Road. Well, this is a map of British Columbia coming from Vancouver or from the interior, Kelowna, up to Houston, where you turn off on the Morris River Road. I hope this helps you to find the Nikita Kidprice Park. We're going down the Morris River Road now. We're heading for our Nanika Kidprice Lake. We should be coming up in about an hour or two. Well, it's the Morris River. We're getting a little closer. Getting into some nice scenery. There's some nice bare hills up there. Talking about bear, I'll see what I can come up with here in a few minutes. Well, here's a moose. It looks like about a 3-year-old. The Morris River certainly is an area well known for moose, a high volume of moose. It's gone down a bit now, but still lots of moose, so good chance you'll see a moose in this area. Certainly something to look for. In my younger years, we used to eat a number of moose right from this area. We followed the signs and there was no problem. It took us right into the lake that we were looking for. Well, who said we wouldn't be able to find this place? We got her, boy. Yeah, we're going to be there in just a short bit of time. Well, we're here. You see the fireweed in the background, and yeah, you got to believe us. We're here. Yeah, I got Mark. He's untying on the front. It's a bit cool right now. I think they should get to work here fairly quick. Get some of that done. Well, the first 4 guys to land at Lamprey Lake. 2 more to come at Anzac. Well, one area that we were slow learners on, but we gradually improved and probably still can improve on, and it's something that probably a lot of people going portaging and canoeing are having difficulty with, is packing our gear. For the most part, we packed way too much, and we brought a lot of food home. We had to pack home with us as well. So it's good to plan properly, and we even took in our personal gear, we took and weighed each one of us, so we had a set weight, and we had to work within that weight. The 2 wild guys from Victoria are not here yet, but we're going to move across Lamprey to a better camping spot at Anzac, and they're going to be catching up to us fairly shortly. We often think that camping is roughing it, but this is our view out our tent window. It doesn't have to be roughing it. Where would you have to travel to find better view than what we have right here? One other thing we use is dry bags. We find it keeps your stuff dry from the rain, and also if it falls in the water. We'll have many more videos of British Columbia and the Northwest Territories and the Yukon and the beauty we have in our own backyard. You will learn so much about your country you would have never known. When with your friends, we often talk about adventures, but our life passes us by and we never get off the couch or turn off the TV to make it happen. Make sure your group of friends are not just talkers, but doers. We had a doer in our group, Bill Downey, who got things happening. So from the Wild Guys, we'd like to say, thank you, Bill. We did it. What we experienced will be with us forever. The Nikita Kidprice Park is actually in a wilderness area. A lot of people do canoeing in that area. It's very beautiful. And starts with Lamprey Lake, then there's Anzac Lake, Step Lake, Kidprice Lake, and they're joined together by 3 portages. And the lake chain lies within a deep valley between Cibola Mountains and the southeast of the Morris Range to the northwest. Well, it's a 1.5 kilometer portage from Lamprey over to Anzac, but we're doing well, and it's all getting there. Well, it won't be very long, and we're going to be meeting the 2 others for our group, Jim and John. Looking forward to that.
Well, this is Anzac Lake. Well, we're on Anzac Island. We had to paddle some life-threatening waves to get here, but we made her. The boys are setting up the tent. I went and wandered around the island a little bit, and looks pretty good. I think they got everything unloaded. It looks like they're doing, what they're doing there. Well, I guess we had our first dinner, did we?
You have to be very careful with your fires as well, because it can get larger and get away from you pretty easy. So we have to be careful in this area.
They put a good show on for us. Thank you, Loons. And thanks, John.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah, Johnny got him going for us.
One of the sounds was John doing a loon whistle. The others are the loons calling back. Well, it's day 2. The boys will be up soon and we'll have our breakfast, probably granola and some powdered milk, and we'll have the energy to continue on for the day.
Well, again, day 2. She's a bit cold and breezy. Sun's out though, but you'll notice over there is fresh snow on the mountains, and that's not a lot higher than where we are right here. See, there you go. She's coming right down on us. But we're the Wild Guys, and no snow's gonna get us.
Well, it's day 2 and we're just loading up to get ready to cross Anzac, and we'll be meeting our partners here today as well. So good day ahead of us.
Lake looks good this morning. Winds died down a bit. Snow hasn't gone back, but we're gonna be okay.
There's 2 guests just arrived to come with us. Well, Jim and John have just arrived, so we now have completed our crew. Be able to head across Anzac and then portage over to Step. So we're looking forward to our second day. A tip I'd like to give you is the actually storing of food that should be cooled or refrigerated. We put it in the bottom of the canoe so that the water in the lake would help to keep it cool. This way we would always have fresh food and keep it for a longer period of time. Now that Jim and John are here, we got a full crew. We did our first short trip. Well, we've just crossed Anzac and we're going to now load up and portage over to Step Lake. So it's going to be 0.5 kilometers across. This is the short one.
Lose my transportation. Well, there comes one canoe.
Well, when you're getting your canoe, stability is one thing. The other thing you want to keep in mind if you're doing portaging, the weight of the canoe. A lighter canoe certainly makes it easier for portaging. Well, the planks are, you can see, are starting to bust up and over time. But I hear now that they've actually replaced the planks and it's supposed to be a lot better. Just a map or outline of Step Lake I'll have inserted as well. Step Lake is 1,172 acres and it is in the Skeena region of British Columbia. This is one of the lakes in the chain.
Holy smolers. Looks like they got her. Not all packed up yet, but they're coming. Now this is the third lake we're in. Step Lake. See the mountains around and the snow down. Looks like it's a nice big lake.
Well, we're on Step Lake and this is the first picture of the full crew. We got John on the camera, so he's missing, but we'll pick him up on another one later on. When you're planning your canoe trips, one of the things that's very important is having the right people along with you that's very compatible. We were very fortunate. We had a wonderful crew. We got along great. We all helped each other. We had a lot of fun and laughter, and that's an important element of a canoe trip. You're going to work hard. You're going to see a lot of nice things, but you want to have a lot of fun along the way as well.
Well, here comes John. We're at Kidprice Lake. Sounds like we got some more people over on the other through pretty soon. Here comes the fishing gear and the food. Where's it, Bill?
Oh, that's where it's at.
Look at the excitement on Billy's face here. Look at it, it's just bubbling.
Those are whiskers.
Okay, let's check on Mark Baylor here. Does Mark look like he's excited? Holy
Oh yeah.
smokes.
Oh yeah, it's worth it.
Are they coming? Hi, Jim.
Well, it would have been nice if I could have packed more of that gear, but this camera thing seems to be messing me up. I don't get as much opportunity.
Coming today, this is our third day. We're coming from the actual Step Lake. We're going to Nanika Kidprice.
When planning these trips, make sure that you do your research. The Parks branch of all these parks have their own regulations that you're expected to follow. Then you have the fisheries, whether it's in BC, Northwest Territories, or the Yukon, and you want to make sure that you're following them as well. Well, dinner is being served here on Nanika Kidprice. We've just come across from Step, and the portage is roughly 2 kilometers. Some varied a little bit here or there, but it's roughly 2 kilometers, so you can go by that. Before heading out on one of these trips is do your research and find out about the weather and surprises along the way and things you should know about, because really safety is number one when you're out here. If you want to have a good time, enjoy the scenery, and have the benefit of all the wildlife you see out there, prepare well. Besides keeping ourselves warm and dry, we also have to protect the electronic gear such as cameras. Otherwise, we're going to lose a lot of pictures and memories that will be important in later years. Well, we're looking south across the Kidprice, and you'll see the mountain range there. That's part of the Hudson Bay mountain range, and we're able to view that as we go all the way down the Kidprice Lake. Well, each trip you're going to learn new things. One thing that we certainly can learn is to be wearing our life vests more. Having your life vest alongside you in the canoe is not much good if you are in the water and your life vest is in the canoe. The other thing is get a vest that will not obstruct your paddling, because you're going to be doing a lot of paddling on some of the very long lakes. So safety is number one.
That's not bad, eh? Mountain there.
Yeah, Bill, I don't think that's just not bad. I think that view is just awesome. Well, we're going to have to appoint John number 2 is our safety guy because he seems like he's always wearing his safety gear. So John, you're our new safety advisor. Well, this is going to be our view, both on Step and Kidprice, as we're going down Kidprice a ways before we walk through to the falls. Well, when you're in the middle of the lake, sometimes it's hard to get the good pictures of the animals on shore. Well, you notice John number 2 is teaching by example. He's wearing his life jacket, so the rest of us got to catch on. Well, we left one canoe up at the north end of Kidprice. We're just going down the lake a ways, and we're going to head through the woods to the falls. So we have no cargo, so there's no reason for us to have all the canoes.
Now this is a lake that a lot of people can't get into because it blows up so heavy. And we're in here and look at that. Just like a mirror.
On some of the larger lakes, you got to be very careful because the wind can come up in a very fast hurry. If you're out in the middle of the lake, sometimes you can't make it to shore. This has happened to us a couple of times, but I think we've learned our lesson. So the bigger lakes stay a little closer in, so if you have to make a run for shore, you're able to do it. Just something for your own safety.
There's John up there. He's just paddling away. Good going there, John. You're doing a fine job. And then we got these other canoes over here. Pretty rough life, I tell you.
Well, we went down Kidprice, southwest, probably about 3, 4, or 5 kilometers. We're now at where we can cut off and go into the Kidprice Falls. Well, we've made it into the falls. It was a little bit tough, just there's no real trail on the north side. You certainly wouldn't want to get your canoe too close to the head of the falls because certainly there's a lot of power there that pull you over, so you just have to be careful at that particular area. Well, we've walked back out through the burn. I don't think it was any more than a kilometer or maybe less. And we're now back out on the lake. We're having a little bit of a rest, and then we're going to be getting in our canoes and heading back up the lake. Well, we're back in our canoes, and John 2's got his life jacket on, and we're paddling home now. We're going to be on the northeast side of Kidprice, and we'll be making ourselves some dinner and getting ready for a rest for the night. It was a wonderful day. The falls were great, and we're very happy. The weather was great, and we didn't have any strong waves or anything. The wind was down. It was just a perfect day today. Talking about weight, booze and alcohol and beer is quite heavy to pack, and we find that the venture is much better when we use moderation and we take very little in. And it's nice to have, but at the same time, we're not out here for a wild party. We're out here to enjoy the wilderness and all the beauty that we see and the companionship with each other. Well, we don't bring in these fancy prepared foods. We just get food that is healthy and good for the body and not heavy, nor foods that needs to be refrigerated. So we're going to give you an example of some of the cooking that we do along, and it works for us. We also spend some time preparing the camp in case there's rain or anything like that, so it's more enjoyable.
Okay, we haven't did a cooking show before, so we're going to start this is what we're going to eat for dinner. We got one green little pepper, we got one red bigger pepper, one onion, some celery.
Sausage.
What kind of sausage?
Chorizo sausage.
Okay.
For most of the Italians that are along.
We'll just let you watch the cooking take place. You'll notice there's one other thing besides packing too much weight and good food. You also want to have a good time. You're going to work hard, so you ought to have a lot of fun. And so you'll notice that we try to have a lot of fun and laughter as we go along. So we have not only good memory of where we've been, but also the great people that we've been with as well.
And there's our hot water boiler there. How you doing, Bill? Everything under control?
The pot is on the stove.
Oh, okay. Did you light the fire?
All by myself.
Okay.
Well, everybody has a task, and we got Jim here cutting up all our vegetables and getting them ready for the food we're about to eat. Well, Jim, it looks like you're doing a great job there.
Supervisor, I'll take a little bit out of here.
Now this is water from the lake.
There you go.
Now we're putting some lake water in. Into what? What do you
The
put?
chorizo past the skillet.
Okay, just a sec.
The presentation of the penne
Penne
regatta.
regatta just went
Into the boiling water?
boiling water.
Okay.
No steam.
The penny discrate just went into the boiling water. One of the foods that we normally have is pasta. Obviously, it's very light and we don't have to worry about it spoiling. And it's good food, so it makes for good meals for us.
See it there.
I couldn't disagree with you boys. We need 10 minutes.
You're gonna try a noodle, you guys. Here comes a noodle.
Not far off.
Not far off.
Another minute.
Jimmy says it's very close.
Well, men,
Is it close, Jim?
There's close.
Good.
I'm very close.
Okay, let's find our plates, shall we?
What do we do now? Oh, just a sec. I'll stir this in. Dressed for that. Let this go for a little while longer, guys, before you.
Okay, we don't need to do it yet.
You can just turn it down if you want, and I'll just get this bubbling.
Mark
No, we had chefs and sous chefs.
and sous chefs.
Sous chef.
Mark Belayi. Long
Listen,
time.
you better get more than just that.
How's she look, John?
Looks
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Willie.
Well, there's the chef adding it, a little parmesan. See, he's got a Tupperware bowl there. He's got a mixing bowl for his dinner.
Was it good there, Jim?
It was excellent.
No, I said you would see me tomorrow, but I guess you're going to see me back again tonight. It was a beautiful dinner, and there's a lot of dishes and that to do. And the boys are having to clean it up. We looked at it, and it's probably only fair that the people who made the mess should clean it up. So,
Well, you heard about us joking about the water from the lake, but we're very careful. We make sure it either goes through this pump you see that has a filter, and if it's getting hard pumping, you better put a new filter in or you just break the pump, or else we boil the water. Nothing worse than finding yourself way out here and being sick. Why would you want to wear white clothing? Well, you can get some hot weather, and there's nothing better than some light clothing to keep your heat down. Certainly you want to be dressed well for not only the cold weather, but also for the hot weather, and white outfit works well. We've been in July on the Nahanni, and we found that it's been extremely cold, and it's easy to go into hypothermia with cold, wet winds. So I recommend, even though it may be July, you want to do your research and make sure that when you're going canoeing, you have the right proper clothing and warm.
so I expect the boys to be coming out pretty soon. Beautiful day. Fire's going. Right, it's not really socked in. It's socked in a little bit higher up, but down here it's still okay. Like, you don't see the big mountains in the background, but they're there. And that's our front living room window. And we missed a few things. See where we're camped here, right along the edge of the lake, and the water is frolicking in.
Here we are, our last supper on the trail on the banks of Anzac Lake. And I guess the cooking was being done by John there.
John is doing the fish, yeah.
JR was cooking some trout.
Yeah. Other chefs here too.
And then we're just having the trout as a bit of an appetizer. That fish is getting a good dissecting by all the boys there.
Here comes about bears. What we do is try to have a clean camp. So that means washing our dishes, putting all our garbage in the fire and burning it, and if we have any food that needs to be hung in the tree, away from the camp.
Can you just hold those fish up in the pan there, John, so we can get a look at them there at the bit of an angle?
John, I don't know if you want to do that.
Oh, there we go.
It's getting dangerous here.
Those fish are making some funny noises.
Patty's in the danger zone.
Okay, so I think we're going to dive into these fish. So we'll catch you a little later.
These are the dry bags that we use in our travels and works well for us. And these are some of the lunches that we prepare for the meats and sandwiches. Wakey, wakey, morning time.
Hey, Patty.
Hi, John.
Morning, Patty.
How are you doing this morning?
Survived another night.
Yes, we did, yeah.
Speak for yourself, JR.
Is there some casualties in the other hotel room there?
We haven't been able to revive Bill yet.
We have just such a fine hotel room here.
It does look pretty nice.
Yep, it's a thing of beauty.
Oh, we got some activity over here too. And come into Lampierre, the first lake we took off on. Now the last lake, coming back home again. Nobody drowned. Everything is fine.
Watch that boat.
All of the luggage is now across.
Hey.
We will not have to pack it anymore across long portages. That's going to be loaded onto the truck now.
Well, we timed it just right. The weather has changed for the worse, but we're in a nice warm truck. We are now on our way home. It won't be long, and we'll be back in Kelowna, and the other wild guys will be in Victoria. See you later. Watch for the wild guys that you see here, and we're going to be doing in 2006 the Myrtle Lake North Arm. We did the West Arm before, but you'll have to come with us on the North Arm. We had quite a storm up there. Looking forward to see you on Myrtle Lake North Arm.